So hello people, welcome to another Vandel Anime Reviews, and today we're doing Joker Game. Let's get to it. First off, I'm going to give the warning that I always give, that there will be spoilers during the course of this video, so if you have not already seen the content, or you'd just like to be spoiled, stay tuned, you've been warned. So Joker Game is the anime that I will be reviewing today, and I'm actually very excited to talk about it. So let's get started with what this show is all about. This story takes place in the 1930s, right around before World War II, and it surrounds the Colonel Yuki, who creates this underground league of spies called the D Agency, and they basically run outside of the parameters of the normal army. Included in this group is also Sakuma from the military to look at what the D Agency is actually doing. Their doctrine is to not get killed, do not kill, and do not get captured. And basically what their job is to do is to protect Japan from domestic and international threats. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, the episode breaks down pretty much like this. It's simple. It starts off with a little foreshadowing that we'll come back to later in explaining the episode, and then we move on to the actual D Agency and we get to see how the operatives are picked, and they go through this whole little montage until we get to the final 8, who are all going to be selected. Afterwards, they go out for a night on the town, and Sakuma's a little bit thrown off because this is not what he's actually used to, as he is coming from the military. It's a lot different. So they come back and they have a little card game, and they get into some little dicey dialogue about how they cheated, and it's actually really interesting. I'll get back into that a little bit later. And then after that, they go and they come back. They get one little mission that goes back to what was foreshadowed in the beginning of the episode, where they have to go to this white dude's house and search his shit, and if they're wrong, the dude has to basically kill himself, and then we're left at a cliffhanger at the end of the episode. It is really exciting. Now let's go into the hype moments, because there were actually quite a few, at least 2. So the hype moment, one of my favorite absolute moments that had me hooked on this show, was when they were at the card game and they were explaining to Sakuma, that they cheated and that the game itself wasn't the important part. The game was a metaphor for something that was bigger in the world, and that was politics, and how people who are like at the UN all have ways of giving information, and there's no way to trust it from who you're getting it from, and that even though it was a game, there was more to it than just the game itself. And I found that to speak volumes to what the show could say, and you see that later on in the next hype moment. Now the next hype moment involves when they actually go to the house. Now this moment isn't as hype, but it sets up tension, which I think the show does really well, and I'll talk about that in the next section. But that when they go to the house, they're already set up in a position that actually sets them up for failure, and now it's Sakuma's ass that's on the line. And that goes back to a line that the old man Yuki said to him, that what do you do when you're caught in a compromised situation? Do you try and kill the person, or do you try and die? Now they just put them in that situation, or him specifically into that situation, and now he has to find a way to get out. And that part is really crazy, and it'll lead into why there are a lot of great things that I like about this show, and I didn't expect it to be this great. So yeah. Now what worked with the show and what didn't work with the show, there were a lot of things. In the beginning, I thought the pacing was a little bit slow, but the build-up was necessary to get to certain points in the episode that worked very well as a payoff. I think the tension that the show creates and the ideas that it circulates around the metaphors of games just in real life, and even you as a viewer, you're not actually viewing what they're thinking, so when you hear how they're processing their thoughts, it's actually really insightful and kind of crazy that something so simplistic can have such huge effects or heavy weight on topics that you would never even think about, just because it's a freaking poker game or it's anything. Like, to them, the world is a game, and they're just playing in it to make sure that they follow the rules that have been prescribed to them. I mean, the characters I have yet to get really attached to, but I really enjoy the contrast between Sakuma and the whole D Agency. He's such a good straight and narrow guy that he doesn't understand the intricacies and weaving and being malleable to situations. I really enjoy seeing how that's going to get pushed and pulled in this whole season of, I think it's 13 episodes that it's going to be. That is just amazing in and of itself. So those are some of the things that I thought went well with the episode. I think also it had a really good ending. The ending song really got me really pumped up after all the hype that was coming, and something's coming next episode. I don't know what it is, but that got me really excited. The opening was okay for whatever it was. I didn't really remember it, honestly. I looked at it again, it was just okay. But I'm really excited for next week because I want to see what happens and how they're going to pull off whatever it is to make sure that Sakuma doesn't die. Now, there's definitely a lot more that I could say about this episode, but we have come to the end and I'm so sad. What I expect for next week is just more hype and more interest to talk to you guys about. But if you made it to the end of this video, don't hesitate to hit the like button because this show was great. This show was hype. I'd actually put it at the top of the list this week for rankings in my own book. But yeah, and also if this is your first time seeing my face, it certainly won't be the last because I make new videos, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And also, question of the day, guys, what do you think about Joker Game? I thought it was amazing. I mean, maybe it's not your cup of tea, but it definitely fit everything that I wanted in a show. I'm excited for next week, and it definitely has me really interested. I can't wait to learn more about the characters and more about the world. So yeah, let's get a discussion going in the comments down below, guys, and you know, I'll talk to you guys next time with another review. Peace. Bye.